This is Haim Steinbach. He was born in Israel in 1944. He's an Israel-American artist who lived in New York since 1957 and is now based in New York City. His most well-known works are of arrangements of everyday objects on shelves custom-made for his works. Here are some of his works, which are displayed on shelves. Here are some other works. Now, moving on to the common mediums, processes, and styles. Before the mid-1970s, he made minimalist paintings, painting squares on canvas. He examined the codes of visual language through a calculated placement of colored bars around monochrome squares. In the mid-1970s, he abandoned painting for a series entitled Lino Panel, using linoleum as a material that mirrored cultural traditions of flooring like Rococo patterns and generic tiling. He still made minimalist paintings, but used linoleum affixed to plywood instead. After the 1970s, his practice delved into putting and arranging items onto a shelf purposefully. He placed objects on shelves or prefabricated shelves, or ones he made. He doesn't design the representation but is merely presenting the objects. Nothing was manipulated to interfere with the function of the shelf or of the objects. They sat the way you would normally see them on a table or any piece of furniture. He often positions his objects with larger architectural installations resembling domestic interiors. These walls served to guide the viewer's navigation through the galleries and highlighted the architectural qualities of the space. He also uses texts in black vinyl on the wall. The titles or texts come from a wide variety of sources, such as texts, headings in magazines or adverts. There's a play of visual language like composition, playing with space, pattern, and repetition to establish linguistic relationships. Common subject matters and themes. The common theme is to put ordinary and mundane objects onto shelves in museums to make them seem very special. The common subject matters are shelves and objects that are put on shelves. For the theme, he was also responding to high-tech mass production and functional era at that time. The objects are authentic and imbued with context. They are not objects typically seen in museums. They did not alter the objects and instead designs an experience through arrangements, curation, and construction. Sometimes the artist creates it for the display specifically. And the reason for using shelves is that he thought shelves were a formal device or setup that could act as an anchor for him to introduce, direct, and organize the object. The shelves are custom-made, triangular shelves with uniform color. The selected objects are not attached to the shelves. This tempts the audience to pick them up, closing up the gap between the viewer and the artwork. Also, the shelves, as formal devices, elaborate on the social reality inherent in the object. It emphasizes and de-emphasizes different aspects of the objects to make the objects' appearances, surfaces, and skins talk for themselves, exposing their contents and their relations. This is Let-On, made in 1985. It is a piece displayed on 3 different colored, triangular and interconnected plastic laminated wooden shelves. There are 2 triangular heads made of latex masks 6 digital clocks, and a garden hose in a circular plastic dispenser. The red digits of the clock faces are echoed in the red markings, suggesting blood around the mouths of the Dracula heads. Both are memento mori, which in Latin means for remember you have to die. They are signs of death, which is something that originated from Christianity and classical antiquity philosophy. The coiled orange garden hose symbolizes a source of sustenance, the water bearer, as the system of nourishment, the bowel, the system of destruction, the entrails, and the system of reproduction, the alert and protruding phallic nozzle. The clock in the middle section of the piece mediates between the severed death heads at one end and the garden host at the other end. This sculpture, with its postmodern form and bright decorative color scheme, is a contemporary still life, an appreciation of the goods of Borgio's culture but laden with allegorical intent, a rearrangement with the tradition of 17th century Dutch painting. After his 1979 and 1980 solo shows at Artist Space and Fashion Moda in New York, his interests in the world of objects made him a significant figure in the creative discourse of 80s New York. By the second half of the decade, his work gained increasing attention in both America and Europe, and was included in various international shows. By the late 1980s, he was recognized as one of the world's leading contemporary artists. And throughout the 1990s, his work had been included in many important shows. For the references,